Okay, this is basically just going to be a very fast video, and I'm just going to kind of tell all of you a little bit about a lot of stuff. Okay, first I just want to kind of say a little bit about the channel and what's going on. I know it's kind of weird to get updates like this, but it's just what I feel I need to do. I have been thinking for days about what to make for all of you, but every time an idea comes up, I either get really bored with it or find that whatever the topic is, I felt that it had been talked about to death by everyone else, which is something that I've also learned as of late, like in regards to being a YouTuber, which is that once a story breaks, if I don't get to it like super quick, it'll just be a boring no story. And this obviously only kind of applies to politics, because if I was making videos surrounding more general themes, I'm allowed to do those things without a kind of voice behind me that's just, screaming at me and telling me to hurry up and stuff. So this is why it's been like, 6 days with no new video. But I also know that many of you don't really care, and many of you don't even realize it's been that long. Just like I don't know or realize it's been that long with most YouTubers. Some YouTubers, I keep up with them that directly. But anyways, I'm just at a place right now within this particular community, right? This community, anti-SJW community, where I am not interested in what everyone is saying. And it's not because I'm like depressed, and it's not nihilism or anything like that either. I think it's just a real concern as to whether or not what I'm doing politically is doing anything more useful or interesting or different than what everyone else is doing. Because right now, everyone has taken the time to dish out their 2 cents with regards to the Manchester attack. This is not a puzzling thing. Obviously, it's normal to feel the need to respond after events like that, and especially when an entire section of the political spectrum publicly omits and obfuscates the core issue. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't voice our views, but that I'm just bored of that conversation. It's kind of the point where, even though I agree with our community on YouTube in regards to Islam, I couldn't even bring myself to complete a video on Manchester, to which most, if not everyone, and you can check this out for yourself. I think Roaming Millennial said it in the beginning of our video, and Computing Forever said it too, which is that they begin the video and they say, well, there's really not much else I can say that hasn't already been said. Or they'll say, I really have nothing more to say on this matter, but then they still proceed to just say what we already know. But to be fair, I think Roaming's case was just like one part of a multi-part video on how like the left is lying about Islam. But we know that, like we totally, we get it. But again, my point's not that, we shouldn't talk about these things. That's never my point. But just like hearing Paul Joseph Watson do his impressions and silly voiceovers after the attack was just too much. Which is why when I had many of you ask me to make a video on the topic, I just thought I have nothing to say on that. And I also had an idea of making a video on the Sargon Thunderf00t fiasco. And I even wrote a few hundred words, but stopped because, again, I thought my efforts were best placed somewhere else. I mean, okay, it really is just 2 intelligent YouTubers calling each other liars, and I admit that is very interesting to watch them go back and forth. I don't know why that is. It just has to do with, I like drama. Everyone says they don't like drama. I really do. I love it. I think it's interesting and fascinating and intriguing. I mean, it's why we like movies. So when it happens in real life, dude, I'm front and center. So it's kind of like seeing 2 YouTube skeptic titans just, trying to rip each other apart. And maybe I could say a little bit of what I think is going on there. I think that Sargon has been grossly misrepresented, and I have no idea why Thunderf00t went after him and not V, right? Like I watched the stream, and V was the one who was so insensitive that it was kind of awkward. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole, the morality of jokes. If he can say whatever the fuck he wants, he's obviously not a sociopath, although he's certainly given, his critics a lot of room to call him one. But mainly what's kind of strange about that is how much ammunition Sargon has to represent an ethical case. Sargon really does have the upper hand here, and it's bizarre seeing how little Thunderfoot has, but he's still trying to keep his head above water. But anyways, it's been an absolute joy to watch. And I don't say that to be mean, but I'm just being honest. Also, everyone's talking about the Laci Green thing, which I think has been very impressive. Laci Green lately has been very impressive. And I've heard all perspectives on this also. My take on Laci, especially after seeing her video today, is that it seems like she is now where so many of us were several years ago. And she's kind of just now starting to see the validity of free speech, and she's noticing the harms of like this self-imposed social fragility that plagues SJWs. And she's kind of playing this balancing game between our two camps we've developed here on YouTube. Which is like, dude, that's a very difficult thing to do. It's actually a space that I try to occupy unless I'm in the mood to, troll, which if I'm doing that, I go to the far right because that's where all the fun is. But, Laci is someone who I'm actually really looking forward to seeing more of. I know she says she's still a feminist, and I don't think she will give up that label anytime soon. I also don't think most of her feminist views have changed. I just think that now she's attempting to be... No, I think now she is being honest about the psychos that make up so much of the SJW culture. So in a sense, she's kind of like a moderate Muslim who just, publicly announced that there are some very problematic Muslims we should take a look at and be honest about, Like, she's still far to the left of me, but hopefully soon she'll join me in the center. But I think that's all. I have a song that I'll be releasing, if not before Sunday, by Sunday. A song will be out. I know that some of you enjoyed the last track I put out, so I figure I'll put out like one a month until everyone gets tired of them. And despite all the complaining I've thrown onto all of you on this video, I do actually have a couple of other projects in the works. So there is more content soon. So thanks for listening and take care.